All right. So I'm here at this little rally here. Hey, how's it going? It's Johnny. As you can see, it's a group of police out here. There's a group of other police out here. It looks like they're kind of protecting the Trumpers here. There are Trumpers here. This is a Stop the Count rally that I saw, go online, and then I know there was a counter protest as well with some activists that we've been covering that have been protesting for BLM and defund the police and sheriffs as well. But as you can see here, when I walked up, actually, I want to tell you about this little story that happened. Is someone was just kind of walking by that little group. It's a little corner there, and what's it called? They're not rioters, man. They're literally. You can go back to all our live streams and see how they didn't do anything like to that matter. But the story earlier was that there was just somebody walking through there, and just kind of like starting an argument with people. And then like the police stepped in told them to keep going and keep going, and it looks like they're kind of defending these Trumpers because I think the police are pro-Trump, so that kind of makes sense, right? So hold on one second. I'll fix my. So anyways, I'm going to go over here. Let's ask some questions here. Let's see. So if you watched our show, our live stream the other day, here we actually talk about the election results and basically the thesis is that it was weird that all those hundred thousands of votes were flipped for Biden when Trump was up with 60% counting in. So we do have some anti-protesters here. So you can see a "Fuck Trump" sign over there in yellow.
America's in big trouble.
This guy's been talking about how mainstream media lies. He's not wrong. Hey, brother, can I ask you a few questions? My name's Jonathan. I'm with Independent Media. We're with the Convo Couch. I want to know what's the official name of this rally?
Vote Donald Trump.
So now they're playing the "Fuck Donald Trump" song.
Vote Donald Trump. Vote Donald Trump. Vote Donald
So protesters over there are playing the "Fuck Donald Trump" song. So okay.
No, it's an old song. They should make a new one.
Yeah. So yeah. Why are you here, sir? I'm curious. And what's your name?
My name is Paul, and I'm here because of the lockdown, the media lies, and most recently, it would be the fraudulent election that they've been putting on in Georgia, Michigan, and Wisconsin.
Yeah, Trump was leading the day before. It was like 65% in, and then he was up by like hundreds of thousands of ballots. And then overnight, Biden started leading.
Overnight, it was Michigan. Michigan was the first state that I was watching. I was watching it at 3 a.m. Right, 3 a.m. And I saw Trump was leading, and then all of a sudden, bam, 3 a.m. There was a huge spike. I was like, "What's going on?" There's no way. If you look at the graph, it's like a little step that goes up. There's no way.
I saw that. It was like a straight
Michigan, yeah, straight line. There's no way. 100% of the new votes that come in is for Biden. No way.
So that really calls into question like the whole election process, right? So, I mean, are you familiar with the election process here in LA County?
No, not much. No.
Yeah, it's been. I've been covering some of that. I was just at the LA RRCC where they. That's where they count the ballots. That's where the ballots go. They go to Downey and Norwalk. There are machines. They let you in a glass room and you can see the machines, but you can't go beyond that. You know.
Yeah. So I don't know what we're gonna do, because I know that all the opposition, all the things that we do in opposition to with the Patriots, the American citizens, they're going to send Antifa in and BLM. So that was their plan the whole time. So I don't know. Like Trump is saying he's going to take it to the Supreme Court, but I don't think we can depend on them either. I mean, if it works out, then that'll be great. But there's still going to be a lot of pushback from the radical left because they've been manipulated and brainwashed by academia, by the media, by Hollywood, by all the politicians. So it's gonna get pretty bad, I think. But it's we the people,
But your main thesis is basically that the mainstream media is lying, right? Like the AP they're lying, and like they took the vote away from Trump. That's kind of like your theory, and then you guys there's not really any evidence other than the graph, right? That spiked up, right?
Yeah, it's Wisconsin, Michigan, and I think Arizona. I don't know how that's going on right now, but yeah, so many voter fraud. They're boarding up. They're putting sheets up on the windows. It's just you see videos of people crumpling up the ballots and throwing them away. It's just so it's up to we the people, man. I don't think we can count on Donald Trump too much because he's fighting his own battle,
And then wasn't this rally called "Stop the Count," right?
Yeah, I've heard about it.
This is what this one's called, right? You didn't start this, right? You're just kind of here.
I don't know where everyone else is. Like when I got here, I saw a BLM rally, so that's all I saw.
I think that was a counter protest to this protest.
Okay, well it's I guess it kind of worked because they went somewhere. Do you know where they went? Okay.
So it's not necessarily stop the count. It's more like look into like the elections, right? Like make sure they're.
Yeah, they're like saying like do a recount, but I think that might be a trick used by them, by the Democrats, or the deep state, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, it's. I think what we need to do is just organize, and we've been doing a lot of rallies, a lot of Trump's and Freedom Rally at Beverly Hills. But now I think it's like we need to protest. Now it's like we can't rally anymore because rallying was to get people, realize like there's a huge support behind Donald Trump and to go out and vote. Like your vote really counts, even if you live in California. But we've done that already. If this was a legitimate voting process, Trump would have won on the landslide, right? From all the votes the ballots that they've been throwing away, all the manipulation. If you count those in or count those out, he would have won in the landslide. So we've done that. Now I think it's time to turn rallies into protests, and try to get creative. How can we peacefully change the system,
And I feel like this election integrity should be like it should be nonpartisan. Like everyone should be concerned about it. But like,
well, I mean, BLM.
It's our democracy,
Yeah, I mean, Antifa. I don't know what they probably don't. They just want anarchy. But I mean, like BLM, most of them, if they had a choice, they would probably vote for Biden. So they're probably for this. So they don't really care. It is just normal American citizens, with common sense. The Patriots, whatever you want to call us, like just American citizens who want our country independence. We're the ones that have to, get creative and fight the new world order, man.
Okay. Well, I disagree. I've been covering a lot of the protests out here. I'm on the ground all the time, so this is why I'm here. I cover both. I've been to the Freedom Rally in Beverly Hills. We've asked a couple questions. What's her name? Was there? I forgot her name. But I've been to both, and I can tell you honestly that they're not the BLM and Antifa people. They're not really starting riots or anything. Maybe like when George Floyd in the very beginning. When the National Guard got called out.
They're stabbing people. Like it was just an incident a couple of days ago where they stabbed a couple of people were stabbed by Antifa or BLM. I forgot. And at our rallies, they were actually one guy pulled out a knife and cops came. SWAT team was there for a while and then they left. They do start riots and they stab people. It's you just don't hear it on the mainstream media. That one guy, the Trump supporter, the African American guy who was standing in the street corner for days and days with Trump signs and logos, he was killed, right? And they're investigating that. It was probably BLM. Another guy was a Trump supporter. He got stabbed through his side from the back by Antifa. He's in the hospital right now. You don't hear about this stuff in the media, It does happen. We've had Antifa and BLM show up, and it was like 8-1. And they beat up this one guy with the Trump flag. It happens. They just don't show it on the media.
I got you. It happens.
I've seen it happen with my own eyes. I've been to over 20 Trump rallies. I've been to BLM rallies, BLM, I've been to the Garcetti BLM rally. They were literally saying, the organizers were literally saying, feel free to go out and loot. I couldn't believe my ears. And I look around the crowd around me and they're like, yeah. And they're like nodding their heads like, yeah, okay. They don't tell you that in the media. They're saying, it's a peaceful protest. They chant peaceful protest. But then when night comes, they go out and loot and riot and stab people. Then the media comes later, right? And then they cover it like the police are arresting them and saying, look, it's the police. They're arresting these peaceful protesters when they don't show you what happened prior to it. They were the violent ones. The media lies to the people, and they're saying, see, look.
I feel like it's kind of a generalization because, they're not a monolith. There are different people in there. Some people are Antifa, some people are BLM, some people are just for fuck Jackie Lacey and stuff like that.
I've never seen, there's been some Trump supporters who talk back, yell, curse, whatever. If they're attacked, they attack back. I've seen that happen. Always, it's the other side. I don't care what anyone says. I've been to over 20 Trump rallies. I've been to 3 Black Lives Matter rallies. I've seen them and the news. I've seen what people record on their iPhones, hundreds of them. Okay, it is what it is. You can't. The media, it's just full of lies, and that's the wall between American people and the other side. What's controlled by the globalists, the corporations, George Soros, the Democrats, the Clintons, the elites of the world, the Trilateral Commission, the CFR, the Chinese Communist Party, the big tech. They're all. It's a huge network. It's not a conspiracy theory. If you talk about it, they call it a conspiracy. They call you a conspiracy theorist.
So now, do you know why police are here? Are they kind of like with you? Are they like kind of protecting you guys, or what are they doing?
I think so. I don't know.
Because like some dude earlier was walking by, kind of like yelling at you guys, and then the cop came in and was like the cop came in and was like, oh, keep moving along and stuff. Yeah. So would you say they're kind of like on your side, or?
I don't know. It depends on the cops. Like we've encountered somewhat corruption at Garcetti's house. We've encountered that as well. So.
All right. Well, thank you for your time, man.
Separate, please. Because I'll go to jail today. I don't give a fuck. No cap.
All right. So some anti-protesters have come in onto this side, and we have police kind of interfering, telling people to please separate. She's saying for corners. He's saying, someone from BLM is saying we don't organize with police. So he just mentioned that one of the people said they were going to do a mass shooting. There is a video of that on Instagram. If you go on Strawberry Feel Instagram, that's on there. It's strawberries, plural. But so yeah, there's a lot of anger, and there's some police here forming a line. So here's what we got going on right now.
They snuck here. They snuck here. They snuck here.
We don't make a hat. We don't make a hat. We don't make a hat. Yeah.
He's asking the police, "Where's your MAGA hat and stuff?" He's like yelling and stuff, but like First Amendment right. He's telling the people to stay on the sidewalk. I'm gonna switch to the other mic.
Trump lost in the cowardly way. That nigga's a bitch. He crying.
Y'all took y'all Trump supporters hat off. We all had it. Y'all snuck here under the ground.
Yeah, we all have.
They snuck here.
We all have.
They got one flag.
We all have.
Put on your weight and see. They got one flag.
You guys should be peaceful. Back up.
Hey, you know what the fucked up part is? You know the fucked up part is?
Y'all came to the roadside, pinpoint blank. I don't give a fuck about none of that. I'm not talking to none of that shit, bro. I ain't talking to none of that shit, bro. I ain't talking about none of that shit. I'm talking about none of that shit. I wouldn't hear none of that. Y'all came to the roadside. Y'all came to the wrong side. Y'all should let that shit in Beverly Hills. Don't come to that, bro. No, come to the side with all that bullshit.
Manipulated by the mainstream media.
Internet gangster. That's shooting at the keyboard. Hey, Rev, what you laughing for, bro? Bring your big ass over here. Yeah, what you laughing? Yeah. Shut up, nigga. You's a bitch. Get your big ass out. Beat your ass. Y'all niggas soft. Y'all soft. Y'all soft. Soft. Y'all soft. Y'all soft. Y'all soft. Don't come down here. Don't come down here.
You're the ones denying the results of the election.
Bro, you're standing behind police acting like they're hard, my nigga. I said, if they wasn't right here, y'all get your ass beat. What are y'all doing? Y'all get your ass beat. I'm so cool, guys. You don't follow. Look at us. Don't get on ticket. Don't get on ticket. I'm going to give you a ticket. It's very expensive. Get on the sidewalk.
Everybody on the sidewalk.
Get on the sidewalk.
Guys, this car is coming. Please, on the sidewalk. Everybody on the sidewalk, please.
Media propaganda. They're lying to you.
Media propaganda my ass. We gonna be a mega attack. Y'all threw the motherfuckers away. I know y'all did it. I know y'all didn't throw the mega hats away. I know y'all didn't throw them away.
That's
Come
what's
on,
going
man.
on. You've been brainwashed by the media.
It's all love. It's all love.
Trumpers, go home. Trump lost already. Go home.
His ass is grass, brother. He going to jail.
278 to 216. Go home.
I thought William Sticks weren't allowed. That's fucking gathering.
He's a real racist. He supported it. He's trying to mass incarceration of blacks. You don't hear about that in the media, do you? Him and Kamala Harris.
Yeah, right.
A little bit.
Georgia just wiped his one.
Oh, yeah. He talking too much shit. That's your weak ass fat. You was you was soft as hell. That's your bitch ass. Y'all is some bitches. All these people.
Okay, just stay out of the street, though.
This is some shit.
This country is about to be stolen by the Chinese communists through yes, Biden and Kamala Harris. Biden is about to sell us out to the Chinese Communist Party and the big tech. They are manipulating you through all the propaganda.
You want a bite? Maybe you need a Snickers, Don. Are you hungry?
You might want to talk to Kimberly Ho in Westminster about ballot fraud then. Yeah, you may want to talk to your Republican representatives then.
Oh, I'm sorry, you're not the representative.
Also, you're not aware of Kimberly Ho, a Westminster City Councilwoman who was sponsoring Michelle Steele's event where they were committing ballot fraud. You're not aware.
No, I'm not surprised. The thing is, like you're saying Republican, but it's okay. This is a nonpartisan issue because it's happening on both sides. Okay.
Yeah, but she's got Trump 2020 on the other side. She's yelling it out.
Okay. Yeah.
We do.
Yeah. No, we're aware. That's why he said he's running the swamp. Republicans included, but not all of them are great. That's the thing. Do you get that?
Both sides. Both sides. Not just Democrats.
You can roll your eyes all you want, but it is both sides. And you said that.
So is this year's election fraud? Is it a fraud? That's what you're saying?
Yes. We want a fair election on both sides.
So
We want a fair
those that
election.
say if you don't like the election, then leave the country. What do you say to those people?
We're going to have a recount because you know what matters with the mail-in ballots too? The official ballots have watermarks. So when that comes out...
You guys can laugh
Oh, wait, I'm like saying that box. It's the box.
Listen, I'm not here to debate, but I just want to know. People are saying that if you don't like the elections in America, leave the country. What do you say to those people?
Sir, we've never had fair elections in America. Sir, we've never had fair elections in America.
Never.
Ever.
Never.
Ever. When you find out what has been going on for hundreds of years, yes, Americans will want to
Are you
leave this
talking about the
country.
time when black people couldn't vote? Is that what you mean? Is that what you're talking about?
No. What are we talking about?
There was a time when black people couldn't vote. Is that what you're saying?
Don't you guys?
Hey.
We're here. Votes are fraud.
Did you guys get hired off of the French list? To show all the press? None of you seem to have a valid point.
Donald Trump's gonna win. Donald Trump is going to win. Donald Trump is going to win. It doesn't matter.
How is that? No, how is that?
Donald Trump said if he didn't win, that means
That is Palestinian. So you're telling me that a billionaire is not allowed to run for president?
I'm not saying billionaires can't run for president. I'm saying that both Trump and Biden are tools of the elite. And if there's anything that
What has Trump done that is...
Mike, 100% contradictory to what he's doing. His actions are the complete opposite of what you're saying. Please give me some facts on that.
Ma'am, I am wearing a Julian Assange shirt. He is imprisoned and tortured because he revealed war
He's in the
crimes.
UK, so
He's in the UK, but the US is trying to extradite him for revealing US war crimes.
Do you know why?
For revealing US war crimes.
Do you know what's going to happen once he gets extradited?
You think Trump is going to pardon him?
Oh my goodness. You need to educate yourself on what's really going on and not watch the mainstream media.
I don't watch the mainstream media. I'm a member of the independent media.
Okay?
I watch Slow News Day. That's what I watch.
Well, you just made a statement that there's two elites that are working for who?
For the elite. And for the national security.
I'm sorry, I disagree with that. Trump's actions are becoming the complete opposite of what you're saying. So I reject that, sorry.
So, with all
That's
this
what it sounds like when you debate with Trumpians. The sky's blue, but you guys say it's purple.
With what that means.
You're brainwashed. It's okay though.
It's okay. So what do you got here doing? What do you got here doing?
I love it when there's probably like maybe 15 of us, and for some weird reason, you guys give a shit what we have to say. You know why? Because you guys are scared and worried you have to misconstrue how we act and what we say. I know you guys.
I find it hilarious.
Yeah,
I find it hilarious. That's why I
find it hilarious.
Anyway, my question is this. If you're not happy with the election results, why don't you just leave? That's what people are saying. Leave!
I'm not going to leave. No, I'm going to stay and fight for my country. If I leave, there's evil. Why would I leave? There's evil everywhere. Why would I leave? There's some other kind of
When you say you're going to fight for your country, when you say you're going to fight for your country, what does that mean?
I'm going to stay here and not go anywhere. You guys ain't taking me out. I don't care if I'm Republican. This is all blue. I'm staying here.
Well, guess what? Joe Biden is your president.
Let's see. Let's see.
Independent media, so we don't rely on the mainstream media. We fight for issues like freeing Julian Assange, like getting FOIA requests for some more operational.
What about the lockdown? What about the lockdown? What about the lockdown? What should we do about the lockdown?
I mean, what? Somebody has the budget for.
That's not. It's a political and bureaucratic.
You're brainwashing them, right?
Matters.com. Have you seen the website? That's why we talk about Marxism. That's why we talk about socialism. That's why we talk about
It has a very, very low fidelity.
Oh, you're coming and saying.
If that's true, then you should be wearing a mask. You should be wearing a mask and all. You should be always wearing a mask.
Okay, so jeopardize. You don't think COVID is a big deal?
Why are you standing so close to me if I might have COVID and it's so deadly then?
So I'm telling you to wear a mask for the people who have not healthy immune systems. Just because you have a lower fatality rate doesn't mean others do. Who are already sick and compromised.
That's the propaganda. That is the propaganda.
Okay, but
Fauci and the deep state and the big pharma.
listen, I don't like Fauci either, and I don't like Stanley either.
Asia Sky Media
Are you
in Montebello.
are you left or right?
Huh?
Are you left or right or independent?
We are independent.
Independent?
Yeah.
I gotta tweet something.
Convo Couch. Independent is good.
Oh, yeah, guys.
Oh no, they finally showed up. All 7 of
Yeah, lives do matter. What are you saying? They're protecting you too.
I know.
So get out of here with your disrespect.
Would you also protest the shootings against 625 people that Jack Layton didn't convict? Police shootings? Do you have a problem with Jack Layton not convicting over 625 people that got shot by police? Do you have a problem with that as well? Do you have a problem? No, I'm not talking right now. Do you have a problem with that? Obviously we don't. Obviously we don't. You're brainwashing your daughter.
Oh, our president.
You're brainwashing your daughter. I feel sorry for her.
Oh, I'm sorry for you.
I'm fine. I'm fine.
Probably Japanese.
I'm fine, man. That's the difference. 10 years old. What is this? For a mother like you.
We're gonna walk you down.
Hey, look, you got what I wanted.
She was so.
Show some fucking CIA. I tried. I fucking tried. I think this election is bullshit too. Yet everybody wants to be fucking sheepdog into this shit.
Brainwash your 10-year-old. Why be on the West? I need freedom of speech. Okay. Sorry. Freedom of press. You know what happened? Last time on Hollywood. You know not Beverly Hills, Hollywood. One time in Hollywood, I was, following them, and some Antifa, try to ping the building, burn the trash can. So I'm trying to record them. Some guy come up to me and said, "Don't film them. And they are going to break my camera if I do that." That's why I'm mad. It's freedom of press.
Yeah.
I record the cop. I record the bad guy. I record the good guy. I record anything. I record anything, anyone. And then they say, "Hey, don't film them." Then what's the point of you painting the building? The point of painting the building, you want people to see, right? So that's why I'm pointing at the building.
How far is it? They don't want to be criminalized as a thing. We're just
somewhere else. Yeah, we're going to leave it. Yeah, let's go do that. How far you guys
on a bike or something, or
I don't know what. It's these people are fucking idiots.
all of them, or like?
I'm literally like, okay, riddle me this. How is Trump anti-deep state if Mike Pompeo is fourth in line for president? Oh, you're watching the wrong news.
No, there's no point in like arguing with them. Yeah, it's like no matter what logic or reasoning you have, like they'll always find something.
I genuinely want to try and reverse sheepdog people though, but these people are of the delusional belief that they're anti-establishment. It's like, hey, shout out Whitney
You're
Webb.
pro-establishment.
Like, shout out Whitney Webb, because if it weren't for her shit on Operation Berg, I wouldn't know. I wouldn't be I know, right? Probably should have brought mine.
Basically, it's just having conversations, educating each other, and seeing if they are
willing
to accept the education.
That's what I fucking tried. Thank you so much.
We can.
That's what I fucking tried. I lowered my tone. I said, okay, can I ask you this? Okay, can I ask you this?
It was too loud and hectic there, so it's not the best area to do it.
Okay.
I'm gonna go over there and see what's happening over here.
Watermarks! Ballots for watermarks! Woo! The Biden crime family is saving the election!
What do you mean by watermark?
Oh, the ballots for watermarks. Don't worry. I know the news media, I know you guys, we're late on it. But the ballots for watermarks.
Like, did you mean that there was a watermark attached to them?
No, I mean there's a watermark. Why don't you look at me when you're asking me a question? No, you don't. When you ask them a question, you look in their eyes. Yeah, what's your question?
So I'm asking.
No, look away. Don't lie. Anything they say. If someone can't look me in the face, that's the aggression.
You don't believe in
You
elections.
guys are lying.
I don't think you really
The
believe in
watermark.
elections.
Yeah, the watermark.
You're just trying to find something to say to get attention. I don't believe you believe that yourself. But guess what? Biden's going to be your president, and there's nothing you can do about it. Live with it. And if you don't like it, leave to go to Canada.
No, we won't. Watermarks, look it up.
No,
that would actually cause you to do some education on your end, and that's a little
if you say so.
Yeah, no, I do say so. Yeah, you need to do education.
You
on
sound
your
absolutely perfect.
Because when there's like,
I'm good.
And that's what I'm saying. We're actually election integrity activists. So like he's chased people all around county to observe their chain of custody. I've gone to like board of supervisors meeting to talk about this stuff. And it's really like it's genuinely making a bit of a mockery about the issue of election integrity to see it so like have so much hyper partisanship injected into it. So like if we can kind of move past, you know, Trump, Biden, left, right, I think that would really help the issue.
oh no, of course, but like even okay, if we're looking at the media, for example, because who doesn't have a TV in their home? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And all of these celebrities, for example, like a lot of people look up to celebrities for some weird reason, but it's not really a weird reason. It's like calculated. If you look into like CIA documents, and if you want to look up the declassified CIA documents, we can see what the media was for.
Operation Mockingbird, right? Yeah.
Exactly. Thank you.
Exactly.
You know, and okay, my thing is like, regardless of what side you're on, we should be concerned about all of these people coming out and saying, like whistleblowers saying that there's this fraud happening from people throwing away ballots to Sharpies to like dead people voting.
But here's the thing when it comes to fraud, is it's not so much voter fraud as it is election fraud. Because that's what, and Democrats have done this during their own primaries as well, where they stuff the ballot box.
Yeah, no.
But it's not coming from the people, it's coming from the establishment.
No, exactly.
So it's not the part of the election, not the voters.
No, I'm on the same page. It's not the voters. It's who's in control of the parties. You know, because they want the candidates to win, whatever. You know, and there's always, I mean, it's their job. And look at how, like, how does Biden have like 5 mansions on the salary that he was supposed to get? For example. Yeah. You know. And that kind of goes along with many other politicians, Democrat and Republican. So that's the thing. Like, yes, election fraud. And I'm not saying it is the people, because the people are doing their thing. You know, like they're trying to go right, and they know the laws. You know, it's if I remember right, depending on the state. I'm not sure. Every state has different rules. Counties, for example, like so fraud has different. How do I say that? Severities for like punishment is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, well, land fraud takes different forms as well. Like there is the issue of ballot harvesting and stuff in the ballot box, but there's also a lot that has to do with the voting machines themselves. Because it's proprietary software, so we don't know what they're doing. Like we don't know how they're programming those flash drives that they put into those machines and how it's being tabulated. So that's another concern for election integrity.
Same here. Same, yes. And like, okay, I saw a story about that this morning, but it was this morning. I didn't get to deep dive into it, but I saw what you were saying with the electronic ballots. Like you could put it in and put it in proper, but like when it's being saved, that's where things can get messed up. So you can see it through your eyes, but the electronics kind of take the reign after, and so that's where the corruption comes into play. Again, not the voter, but the people putting the election stuff in place, whether it be ballots, electronic ballot readers, you know, all that, and even our whole people, you know, the people that did do wrong, you know, I hope they get prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law because they're screwing with people's rights. You know what I mean? That's just anti-democratic. It's un-American, and like everyone has the right to vote. And you're taking away people's rights, and that's the problem.
I feel you because a couple months ago, back in March, there was a board of supervisors meeting that had Dean Logan there, and there were only about like between 10 and 20 of us activists that actually cared enough about our elections to go to that meeting, and we waited for about 8 hours just so we could yell at Dean Logan, and in the hopes that he would get fired, but he didn't, because not enough people care about it the same way they care about other issues.
Well, it's crazy because the LA County hired Dean Logan, and he has a history of literally corruption in Washington. Like literally, there was a problem there, and they literally hired him to be here.
No, honestly, you say like it's crazy, but I mean, don't get me wrong, it is crazy, but I'm not surprised. Like, look at what has been happening. It's just like, Jesus. This year is just so polarized. It's wild, but it's also like, again, look at the media and how they've been pushing polarization. Whether, like, even celebrities, you know what I mean? And it shouldn't be like, oh, if you're voting for XYZ, I hate you. You know, like that, like we are supposed to have free thought
I am,
here.
because like I hate all parties in general, and like I'm against the system as a whole. But my thing is, despite how much I agree with you that the media is manufacturing a lot of narratives, that they are manufacturing consent for a lot of chaos, and this is something that I've actually gone at media for, I don't think, you know, electing Trump is the answer to that, especially when, you know, I still see him very much as a tool of the establishment.
Oh no, that's totally fair. And I mean, like, anyone who's a politician is essentially a tool of the establishment. So I get where you're coming from. But when you're talking about, like, you don't think Trump is gonna be good for this situation, like, okay, I can see where you're coming from. But my thing is too, like, for example, in my opinion, you know, regardless of what I think of Joe Biden as a person, he's still a person, and I think personally what they're doing to him is kind of like elder abuse, given his mental state and how he holds himself, and so I think that's
Kamala's the one they really want, because she inherited all of Hillary's staff.
Exactly, and that's the point that I was leading to. Like, that's, in my opinion, that's what the 25th Amendment was for. That's why they were pushing that. And Kamala, like, if you look at what she did to, I believe his name is David Daleiden.
Sounds familiar.
Yeah, he was like, may I pull my phone out real quick? Because I don't, you know.
No, you're good. Take your time.
Do you know who Tulsi Gabbard is, Berg? Any chance?
I know of her name.
She cares.
1 second.
She ripped Kamala a new one.
Oh, yes. Yeah, no, that was freaking great, dude. Sorry, should I keep it like PG with...
No, you can.
No, go ahead.
Okay, yeah, no, that was fucking awesome. Watching her, she's like, Kamala has a good, like, you know, like, standing speaking face, and she can, like, take shit, but it's funny when she gets hit with some real shit, and then she's like, she hits you with that weird smile, and then she'll do that, like, creepy laugh.
The laugh, that's her take.
Yeah. Wow, okay, did I just really get banned off Facebook right now?
I feel you.
Yeah, no, my Instagram got disabled.
They censor us all the time.
Wow, my account's been disabled. Like right now. I was just on a few minutes ago.
Actually show that, because we've been covering censorship as well.
Can I show you my Instagram? Because, like, I was trying to get on, and there's like, the last post that I had was about gematria.
Okay.
What does gematria have to do with politics? That was the last post that I had. And okay, like, I can show you. No, that didn't have to do with Kamala Harris. But with Kamala Harris, look up David Daleiden. He was reporting on Planned Parenthood, and my thing is, like, regardless of how you feel, how I feel, how he feels about Planned Parenthood, the thing is, like, we're supposed to report everything and let the information be out there to be disseminated and thought of, you know. And Kamala Harris sent the cops after him. They got his hard drive and everything, and he was like, again, I mean, I was trying to look it up, so don't quote me. It's been a long day. I was trying to eat my sandwich and people were getting up in my face. I don't know if you saw a picture of me just trying to, like, eat lunch.
Yeah, you're good.
But yeah, so she sent people after him, and that's my concern. We're talking about censorship, right?
Yeah.
And so she is, like, gonna have an ironclad on us, and it's gonna be like censorship to the max. Like, look at China. That's what I mean before.
Yeah, it's already started, actually, because
yeah, look at what right now. And you said you just got banned. Instagram's I was gonna say YT. YouTube.
Well, yeah, like we have experience with censorship. YouTube's algorithm is fucking us over. Julian Assange is being imprisoned, and that's one of the reasons why I can't support Trump, quite frankly, is because of the imprisonment of Julian Assange.
He
Granted,
campaigned on WikiLeaks, you know. He's like, WikiLeaks.
After saying he loves WikiLeaks, he turned around and stabbed Julian in the back. And you know, I'm also really concerned about stuff with like I like journalists are being targeted abroad. Vanessa Bailey and Eva Bartlett are two amazing journalists that do amazing reporting on the war in Syria, and they're being targeted by the BBC for censorship. And it's a class of global elite that's trying to essentially set up the national security state to go after people to censor them. And the fact is, I just think that Trump is a tool of that.
Okay, so if he is, then what should the people do then? Because we're so fragmented and divided, right? With like the, you know, Trump supporters and BLM and all these people. It's like there's.
I mean,
what do you? If we are gonna rise up.
Can I chime in on that real quick? Because he said he was gonna do something about that. He said, okay, I'm a little bit dyslexic, but the censorship in the section, was it 230?
Yeah, 230.
Okay, section 230. He said he wants to repeal that, and like, definitely all for it, because like with what's happening, it's an atrocity, really. You know what I mean?
They're censoring everything.
Yeah, it's
and they're censoring our people here too. Like Vishal, Sean, they can't live stream, and like regardless of what you think about these protests, people should be able to live stream from them, and they shouldn't be barred from that.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
So to kind of answer his question, I think this rally, this protest, it's in like. The bottom line of the protest is that it's election integrity, I feel like, right? Or like, but like we need to figure out like where, like it's actually happening. And
I feel like there's a few different avenues in which this is happening. You know what I mean? It's like an amalgam of like fuck shit.
Yeah.
And it's a fucked up tangle too.
Well, and you know, you mentioned like possible solutions. I think the first step to that, at least, is to move past people, to move past figureheads, to move past Trump, Biden, and unite around the issues themselves. Like unite around freeing Julian Assange, being anti-censorship, being like anti-establishment, being like whatever you want, being pro-First Amendment as well. I think if we unite around those issues, or you know, maybe class issues like against the elite who are essentially trying to ruin us all, I think that's really something that we could band together against, instead of, you know, left, right, Trump, Biden.
Yeah.
Because whatever the answer to this is, it will be post-partisan.
Of course, yes. And like, okay, I agree with what you're saying in terms of Julian Assange. And that is like cringe, definitely. But like, the reason why he still has my support is then because of all the other things that he's still held up on. I already mentioned the repealing Section 230. He's done more in terms of stopping child and human trafficking, whether it be for sex or just whatever. You know, he's done the most out of any president, and that is so important, because that's how modern day slavery is still going on. You know, and like,
journalists usually kind of get that.
I don't understand why any other president hasn't gone after that as hard as he has. It's surprising to me, really, that like this is like new.
That is,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, that is a criticism I have of the left, is that we're too afraid to touch issues like censorship and human trafficking because it's viewed as like a right-wing thing, when in reality it's not. It's something that's screwing us all over. So like, I totally agree with you on that. Yeah.
Right. So, yeah. I'm sorry, what news source are you doing?
Convo Couch.
Kennedy Lindsay, nice to meet you.
I'm Gloria, nice to meet you. And this is Johnny.
What's your name?
Kennedy.
Kennedy Lindsay?
Yes.
Johnny.
Nice to meet you, Johnny.
Nice to meet you. So, you know if there's any other protests planned for...
We're going to be in Beverly Hills at Garden Park tomorrow.
Tomorrow?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Is it going to be another, like, same deal as this, or for a different issue?
It's more just like a picnic. Because, okay, honestly, like, when we get together, until, like, for example, like, when I see people like that who say that they're journalists, it's, like, a little sus, because they don't really act like journalists. Like, you guys, you talk like people. They start barking in people's faces, and they get very aggressive, and, like,
a strategy at all.
No, every like, okay, I guess good reporters. So I'm not saying that they're not reporters. I'm just saying like you guys are good reporters where they're like getting all crazy and like even going to the point of like they were like trying to harass that woman's daughter, and this guy was starting to ask her about like, what do you think about Justin Bieber like voting this? Like, who cares what Justin Bieber thinks? Like, is that like why are you like you're talking to a kid? And like I see where you're coming from because again, like he's just another like the propaganda arm of the media trying to like screw with the people, and he's targeting a child, which is on point, you know. And personally, like that's disgusting. Like she's a kid. Leave her alone. Her mom's right there. Like there's no reason to ever get loud in a child's face. And like again, like when we get together, it's love. People of all colors, creeds, it's all love. We're people. You know, we're Americans in that crowd. But like when other people come by, they're just spitting anger and hate, and it's just vitriol left and right. And it, you know, I just tell them like, dude, that's bad for your health. Because you gotta calm down. And when we're together, it's like a family event. And also, like, I think it's wild that they're yelling at this Chinese woman, telling her that she doesn't know what communism is, and she's Chinese. You know,
people from Iran, from people who flee communism and socialism, they come here, they know exactly, and they're a lot more serious than we are.
Compared to some of those states like Cuba and Venezuela, they're under tough, really just crushing sanctions and embargoes by the U.S. So that isn't helping their situation. Whatever you think of communism,
we the people though, you can't. It's like that's not. It's corporate America. It's the bureaucracy. It's the It's not. You can't put that on the American people. You know what I mean?
Well, because it's also like he was saying, the corporations are big in politics. Because it's like
just like the Chinese Communist Party, right? CCP. You can't say all the Chinese people are bad. It's the state that's oppressing those people, not the Chinese people. You know, Chinese people. We're with Chinese people. You know what I mean? Same with us. We've been brainwashed into thinking that this America is the president, the government, the state. Whatever they do, that represents us. No, that doesn't represent us. You know what I mean?
And I mean, like, look at China. Like, okay, I was in Indonesia last year, and I was scared that I couldn't come home because they were having riots over there. And I was looking at those riots, and like, they're running around with American flags, saying that they wish that they were here because of what's happening to them. And what I had chimed in on you speaking earlier, and that's why I was saying, like, if you look at how the CCP formed in its early stages, it's eerily similar to what's happening here, you know. And people from other countries see that. Chinese people see that. Like, I have family who are immigrants. Like, one of my grandmothers is from Nicaragua. I have literally family from all over. Take me forever to like tell you about like, oh, I come from this place and this place. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, I get it. I'm actually Caribbean on my dad's side, so like the perspective I come from is like we don't know something like the CCP too well, but what we do know is we do know U.S. imperialism. We do know how Western countries gear Caribbean economies towards suiting their interests and their needs, and not even of the Western people, but of the Western elite.
Yeah, no, I get that, but that's also, you know, the elite, like you were talking about the globalists. They're globalists. The people that are the globalists work together because they're all the richest people, and they don't give a crap where they are geographically because they're working together to keep us oppressed. You know?
Right. So you could say like Trump is kind of like letting that happen, right?
I would say Trump is.
You know what? Okay, fine. Trump's a dictator. You just want to just. All right, fine. Think that way. That's fine. Let's talk about we the people, the ordinary citizens of it. Because this conversation, I've heard it like thousands of times. You know, on the media, on the internet, at the rallies. Like, how about like what are we gonna do? You know, about this whole.
I just explained it, but you turned to argue with him. But I mean, like I said, we need to move past figureheads like Trump, like Biden, like all these politicians. We need to focus on issues instead. We need to band together about something like anti-censorship, anti-trafficking, pro-First Amendment, and we need to get into the streets and voice that.
And
we need to use, and you know, I know California is shite at it, but like, use our Second Amendment rights.
Exactly. How about we protest Google then? Like there's one in Santa Monica, right?
I'm not against that.
Yeah. And honestly, I think that more people agree on a lot more than we realize, like you're saying. You know, you're talking all this, and we can, you know, you started speaking to me, and we're like, yeah, no, like I get it, same, you know. And if people were to actually have a discussion instead of just popping off with their emotions, because like, if you're gonna get emotional, we're doing good.
Yeah, I think
thank you for checking it.
in a way Trump has divided us for. Hey, if you don't like the guy, then fine. You know, like
I'm sorry,
Trump supporters are very.
I don't have like a timetable.
We don't like Biden either. We don't like any of
that
them.
evens it out. So yeah, okay, fine.
No, I understand.
It's like we got more in common than
Conversations you guys are having.
we don't.
Great
you know,
conversation.
Trump is just this. I mean, I'll admit it. Like you know, a lot of people idolize Trump by Trump supporters. You know.
No, I understand. I mean, to be fair, I think at least in this little bubble, I don't know about over there because we had to get moved over here.
But I know everyone's going to argue for that, but let's just get past that. Trump is like this. Just get past Trump, Biden, government, and think about what we can do as we the people, you know, because like, you know, BLM, I think it's a corrupt organization, but a lot of, there are some people who have some good, you know, when you talk to them, there's a lot of agreements that we can stand on, you know, and then it's like what the media wants, what do you call it, deep state or the corporations, bureaucracy, they want the divide, you know? Did I tell you, did I read you the thing that I just said about the 60s? They were, the Marxists, the communists, that's how they want to divide this country, through race, because we are such a diverse nation.
I wouldn't say it's communist. I'd say it's the corporations, right?
Well, they do it. They say in the name of communism because the racial division which they saw in the American people. But they do it. They do it through social justice. But I know you're going to disagree with that. So we
Can
should
I have a
talk.
conversation with you, sir, real quick?
Yeah.
How long do you think you're going to be out here? How much
I don't know. Like.
Because I'm about to pull all my guys and go somewhere else.
Okay.
And the radical left is going to come over to talk to you if you're still here. And I'm looking at public safety. Now, if you say you want to be here forever, I'm going to say you're going to accept your own responsibility at this point.
Like 5-10 minutes.
Okay. Thank you. 5-10 minutes. I expect you leave. We could de-escalate this whole situation, and now I don't have to have all these officers out here.
All right.
Sound fair enough?
Yeah.
Thank you.
If you don't have your word, you have no honor. If you can't stand and like be true in that way, like
How's it
I don't
going?
want to be.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, she doesn't want to be. Yeah.
You know.
You can look at me, chat.
People say okay, well about yeah. You not say the right things.
I think among everybody here, you know, we have more in common than everybody up top with the elites. You know, even Mayor Garcetti and
Oh yeah, for sure.
Exactly.
So we need to find the commonalities. We need to find the right solutions to get to those solutions.
You know, like, I don't remember what exactly he did, but he admitted to it. He was like, you know what? We tried. Did our best. We're gonna keep on to improve. But like the other promises he made, they were kept.
But I noticed that when he's failing,
Alright, I don't want to stand on
stays
camera.
positive, even though he's failing or whatever he's doing.
And that's what a good leader does. You keep up morale.
Right, yeah. You
You're
don't
not
want to
gonna be
scare
like,
them.
Hey, we're on a fucking sinking ship.
Right,
You
yeah.
know? Like,
They're about to leave in like 5 minutes.
okay.
So they want us to leave.
Well, it's nice meeting you. My name is Dylan, by the way.
That's me. That's me.
My name is Jorge Hernandez. I'm longest to talk if I can use it. Is that right if I can do an Instagram story video? Just one simple 10 to 15 second video. And so basically your first and last name and then why you came here today. So why? Ready? 3, 2, 1. Go ahead.
My name is Kennedy Lindsay. I'm here because of all the corruption that's happening with our voting stuff, and you told me to keep the video short. So, like, there's plenty of things happening that either side should be concerned about. You know, when it comes to ballots, like, we have the right as Americans to vote. You know, if you're going to screw someone's vote, you're screwing someone's rights. You know, non-partisan issue. That's why I'm here. I'm an American, and that's what we should be fighting for. It's not just for me and my party. I don't have a party. It's just, like, our rights. We need to stand together to uphold our rights as Americans. You know, that's it.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, man, thank you guys. Have a good night.
Yeah, they want us to leave like in 5-10 minutes. Because they're about to leave.
Okay, yeah, well, he told me that I assume responsibility for my own self.
Yeah.
Which is fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because we need that. We need all that. And that's why I don't understand if he's securing a border for Americans to make it better for us to have more jobs and everything else. I don't see what's the problem with that.
Well, and it's interesting when you even bring up the border issue because Obama deported more people than Trump, and he was nicknamed the deporter-in-chief. So it's interesting that you bring that up, and everybody talks about the kids in cages without remembering that Obama and his administration built those cages. So despite the fact that I'm vehemently against that policy, you have to be like honest with yourself about the people that are perpetuating these issues that affect you.
That's true. That's right. But see, it's like we'll go back and forth. That's why it's like, to me, with the politicians, it's like they just feuding and fighting with each other. They can't even compromise. Yes, I can. Yes, I can. And it's like, you know, and just like Nancy Pelosi, I don't even.
We hate her too.
I hate her. But see, my thing is, it's like you have to compromise. They won't compromise with Trump. They won't work with him. Try to work with him at least, because it's for us. We need, Americans are suffering. We need stimulus money, the ones that's out of work. And
can I ask you real quick if you got your $1,200 stimulus check? Because my parents actually did
get it. I did get it, yes. And the letter from Trump. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. But you know what? It's to me, I was Democratic. I walked away. I ain't gonna even lie. But anyway, it's just that the reason why I did walk away from the Democrats, because I couldn't stand the news, the hatred. Because I'm like, this is what we teaching our kids, to hate each other. If you hear, look how they disrespect the president. This is the president. I didn't hear them disrespect Obama and Bush. We didn't get all this hate. And that's what's bad. And it don't make, two wrongs don't make a right. And then, well, it's like, you know, I'm serious. I have grandkids. I have 2 daughters that grown. I got family. And it's like, what are we teaching our kids? If they watching TV and they seeing people disrespecting our president, commander-in-chief, I'm like, come on, they should have more respect. If they're mad, keep that within themselves, but don't bring it to the American people. See, now the American people see how they've been fighting, hate each other. And so how do you think we're going to act? How do you think we're going to act? You get all this protests and everything, craziness.
Yeah, but to kind of push back on that a bit, a lot of the mayhem surrounding these protests actually comes from police agitation, because at all the protests I've been to, we've actually come unarmed. And, you know, I myself, I've been tear gassed, and I was actually illegally detained by the sheriffs for literally while I was waiting for my ride home. So I think we also have to kind of have to realize that, you know, not buy into every narrative that's coming from, you know, the intelligence in particular. Yeah.
But I think they need police reform, because it's some bad officers, some racist ones. Get rid of them. You have to have police reform. You have to get the bad ones out. And just like the politicians, to me, the corrupt politicians, get the bad, drain the swamp, get the bad ones out, and put some new blood in there. Somebody with better ideas that, in the Senate or whatever, and it would just make it better because all this hate, I'm serious, it just really, that's why I switched over to the Republicans because I'm like our kids is watching TV. They seeing these grown-ups just at it. Damn, that's the president. That's the Democrats. They always at it. That's all we hear, and they can't solve any problems for us. It's like the American people, we are ones that's suffering while they're fighting and can't get over it. It's just crazy.
And that's really what I think about this election as a whole, because I don't support Trump or Biden. Personally, I just think that this election is really a smokescreen to manufacture even more chaos. So, we can get an augmentation of the surveillance state. So these elites have, even more reason to just, make us hate each other and want to arrest us and oppress us. And I think that's where this election is going to take us. And it's a sad reality, but it's what I believe, just from what I've seen on the ground.
You know what? I don't know. You know what's sad? Because we in America, and it's sad we don't know what the next day going to bring us right now. Because America is in chaos right now. This has never happened with the elections or nothing. I said, I've been voting for years, and I said, don't we get the president announcement after the voting polls close? This have never happened where we got to wait for days and days and count ballots and ballots. And I think with that, they allowing it. If people don't get consequences and get punished for their actions and what they do wrong, what do you think they're going to keep doing? That's why the Democrats and everybody keep doing what they're doing. They're not being punished. They're not being arrested. They're not being prosecuted. So when we see that the politicians not getting prosecuted and arrested for what they do wrong, how do you think the people gonna be? That's why it's all of this on the street.
Yep, and
nothing ain't gonna happen to us.
And we're
commit crimes and do whatever and get away with it because they are above the law.
Yep, and we're actually staunch advocates for that type of accountability. Like I myself am an activist for Julian Assange, who exposed war crimes in the military in Iraq and Afghanistan, and also the DNC rigging of the Democratic primary in 2016. And I think that we should be punishing the people who committed those crimes, not the person who exposed them. And likewise, I think we need to put, Dean Logan in the hot seat, who's our supervisor of elections in LA County. And back in Broward County, where I'm originally from, Brenda Snipes, who was our supervisor of elections, was found guilty of illegally destroying ballots to help Debbie Wasserman Schultz.
So they didn't get in trouble, but she did.
Julian Assange got in trouble for revealing crimes, and none of the people who committed the crimes that I just mentioned
got arrested or anything.
Nope.
And you know what? I'm glad you told me that because I didn't know that, and you educated me. Thank you for that with Assange. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
I did not. Was he working with Hillary Clinton emails?
Yeah, he was the
Yep.
Oh.
He's the founder of WikiLeaks, which is the one that released the DNC email leaks, the Iraq and Afghanistan war logs, which revealed war crimes, diplomatic cables, which revealed how the global elite operate, and just tons of other stuff, how we're being lied to in the war in Syria. And because of all of that, he's being prosecuted. They're trying to extradite him to the United States as an Australian citizen rather than hold the people accountable for those crimes. So that's why we're such big Julian Assange advocates.
That's me too. I'm like, why these politicians, like the Democrats, the rhinos or whatever, why they getting away with all this stuff and been getting away with it for years? And it's like they above the law to me, and it's not right. It's not right. So, yes, and then you letting criminals out of jail, releasing them on the street. I'm like, what is this world coming to? It's sad when we not getting no justice. And this wouldn't have never happened years ago. I was born and raised out here in LA, and this is new to me with the elections. And I'm like, see, they letting it go on too now. Nobody's getting punished. No one's facing the consequences on what they do. So that's why it's just gonna get where I'm scared of where America is headed right now, because look, anything can happen. Crime it's sad. When you disrespect the police, when you disrespect, our commander in chief, the vulgar words that came out their mouth. I'm like, come on, you're on national TV. I don't want my grandkids and them to grow up hateful like that, with hating them. But if you keep on watching it, of course your mind is gonna be negative, and you're gonna feed into it. And then people go, they dealing with people with mental illness. If you keep putting stuff in their head that's negative and brainwashing them, this is what you get. So I just think people gotta come together. The Americans better unite to save America, because right here, I don't know, we just got to pray. And people just need to be arrested. I think Nancy Pelosi, all of them, Gil Garcetti, all these politicians haven't done nothing to me. Nothing. No, I'm not saying that, I'm sorry, I made a mistake, but they're not doing nothing. Since President Trump he's been president, I have seen a difference. I have friends, family members, got jobs. I have seen openings for us. I've seen a change, but with the hate, it could have been more better. Maybe if Nancy Pelosi would and the Democrats would try to compromise, and if they would have gave the Americans the $1,200, work with us. All these homeless people on the street, but you want open borders. But it's already Americans all on the street homeless. And you have to take care of your people first, right?
Yeah, well, with regards to, arresting these politicians and prosecuting these people, I think that's another one of my criticisms of Donald Trump is, in 2016, he ran a campaign that was chanting, lock her up with regards to Hillary Clinton. And, I think Hillary should be prosecuted at the International Criminal Court for what she's done, but she's still roaming scotch-free. And same thing with all these elites.
Yes. And it's like they mocking us. They don't care. It's like they all sitting back. I'm above the law. I can do anything I want. And that's scary, because it makes us feel uncertain now. Because I don't know. I'm like, I don't know what tomorrow. Our kids can't go to school. This is sad. School's been shut down for a few months. What is going on? This is crazy. It got to give. We're not going to have no more America with all this keep on going. Because I'm saying the politicians, people look at them. I know, people I know, you're watching TV, you see them behave like idiots. Then how do you think the American people on the streets going to behave? They're not going to have no respect for nobody, because they look at the politicians supposed to be our role models and supposed to be the ones to help we the people. And look how they acting with all the hatred, inciting riots. Yes, I believe in all that. It's crazy, but God knows this is God's world. So all I say, we just gotta pray, because this is to the point where I'm not saying it ain't no return, but people better get it together, because this is the last time we're gonna have a chance to save America right now.
Well, I'm a Baptist myself, and I think I have a moral vest, so that's why I'm out here.
And you know what? Thank you, and I appreciate y'all. Just keep up the good fight. And I'm just out here. I came downtown. I said, let me see what's going on with my eyes. I was watching on TV, but to see it real, it's. You know what? See, look at that. Look, it's sad, man. No respect. And I'm like, Martin Luther King didn't do violence for violence. We didn't, black people, we don't protest like that. No.
To be fair to Martin Luther King, though, he actually did warn us that violence would come, though. He quoted, I think it was JFK, in saying that riots are the language of the unheard. Yeah. So he wasn't so he wasn't a saint in particular. He did have his moments where he was hard, but you know, he did advocate for a nonviolent approach as well.
Yes. Yes, but we need some more Martin Luther Kings now. Yes, we need some more Martin Luther Kings. But we just pray, you know, hopefully get better. But like I say, Nancy Pelosi and them, they not for us. Because they're not for us, because they don't care. To me, Nancy Pelosi, the Democrats just think about the illegals to me. I don't know. It's just because she always like, what about the kids in the cages? And I'm like, but what about us? What about Americans, though? What about the patriots? What about us, though? We need help. We need jobs. We need homeless people need affordable housing. We need all that, you know, health care. We need all that. But I think they need to take care of Americans first, because we do come first. And then after that, it's like, I think other countries need to get on their government and make them do better. Just like they can protest out here, protest in your countries and get your government right. I mean, because it's not,
And also,
we can't take care of the world.
and we also got to get the U.S. to stop interfering in other countries and wasting resources that should go to us abroad, because we spend I think it's $4 billion, a couple $1 billion per month in Afghanistan for no reason except to, you know, continue stealing and extracting resources from the Middle East. So
I'm like, you know, we have freedom of speech, do we? Do us Americans? I don't feel like we do, though, because it's.
Yeah, I got arrested for covering the protest like May 30th, 31st. I wasn't protesting.
Were you on the news?
No, no one cares.
Were you on YouTube?
I was on Twitter and Periscope. Yeah, but I've been on YouTube as well. Yeah.
I mean, you was covering the news, so I guess you wasn't fake news, so they don't want to hear it. Oh, wow, that's sad. So just be careful out here, you know, just be careful, because you know what, it's like we have police officers, but with all these people be outnumbered, and people just it's just so much hate. To me, it shouldn't matter like whoever wins. It's just that they have to bring us unity, all of us, because it can't be with Joe Biden. He was like Trump supporters. And I'm like, but we're Americans still, so if you become president, you got to help the Trump supporters and all of us too. What are you going to do for all of us Americans? It's not, and I don't like the divide. Oh, because I hate Trump, so, they're my Trump supporters. You know, no, we all Americans, so that's why I say it's a difference, and it shouldn't be that when you're running to be president. It's for all the Americans, not because of your hatred for our president. It's like, no, I'm just not going, well, forget the Trump supporters. I'll just, you know, the Antifa, Black Lives Matter, or whatever, you know, the protesters, the peaceful protesters, they say, but they're not. But that's what I was getting with him. And then I was hearing about the communism, and I'm like, you know, America we never been a communist state. I mean, the United States never been communism, so, but just hanging there. I'm just praying.
Well, the Democrats are very, very far from ever being socialist, to be fair to that point. They've mistreated a lot of socialists that are on the left, and they've, you know, essentially tossed aside, you know, socialist policies like Medicare for all or universal basic income.
Yeah.
So,
Both parties aren't giving us that, you know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Yes, so I was going to say something. What was I going to say? You know what, that was so interesting too. Yeah, but you know, I forgot. But anyway, you know what, we just gotta pray, and I said this is really something. Did they have a protest up the street at City Hall?
This group, they had a protest at City Hall, moved over to Father Sarah Park for a bit, and then they came back here.
It's a smaller group now, huh? It's getting smaller, the protest now?
Yeah, I'd say so. They spike up a bit in numbers depending on what the occasion is, but in general, since like May and June, they've been lower.
Can you tell me something? When Trump said when they was tearing down the statues, Antifas and Black Lives Matter, that they would they automatically get 10 years if they was arrested? 10 years automatically, and then would have to do the time for the destruction and stuff?
I'm honestly not sure.
Yes, I know. I heard it because I was like, they shouldn't be out here protesting and stuff then, because I wouldn't want just 10 years. But I know that was like a few weeks ago. When he was saying he was going to make it harder for them if they tear down statues and stuff like that.
Sedition. He was considering sedition, or William Barr. No, it was William Barr who was considering sedition, which is like protesting against the government or something. Like, you're not allowed to do that, which was like, what the hell? Yeah. It was William Barr, so it wasn't necessarily Trump. I don't think so. But
So what can we as Americans do? Is it something we can do to demand these corrupt politicians to be arrested or investigated?
Go and protest outside their houses, maybe?
That's what we can do?
Yeah.
But they run us out when we do that. You know, they was running
Yep.
people away and stuff. Because I said he got it because I was on a recall with Gavin Newsom and Gil Garcetti, and I know Nancy Pelosi probably on her way out of there because people want her gone. Yeah, she got to go. But I just think they need to right now get rid of most of the corrupt politicians, get them out of there and arrest them and they've been committing treason. I just don't see no justice. They committed treason, all of that. Voters fraud. I knew they was gonna do that. That's crazy. I said, I don't know why is they letting that go on like this? They should have just stopped it midnight. I mean, whenever the polls close, just keep continuing on how we do it. Why would you let them get what they want? That's what I don't get with that. They breaking the law, but you allowing them to continue to break our laws and get away with murder because they still getting away with it. They still counting votes. I'm like, isn't that something?
The way the elections work is that they're run state and then locally also. So it's not federally, so it's not really Trump who's in charge of the elections. It's every state and locally. And then like here, LA County being one of the biggest counties like in the country, and then it's very secret. I was just there at LARRCC, the Registrar Recorder Office. That's where Dean Logan is, Jeff Klein, and where they count the.
Who is Dean?
Dean Logan is the
supervisor of elections.
Supervisor of elections, and he got hired 2 years ago. He came from King County in Washington, where he was facing like a lawsuit for like fraud over there, and they hired him over here.
Well, not only
the LA Board of Supervisors is there.
Not only did they let him be supervisor of elections, they also mismanaged $300 million that was supposed to go into essentially upgrading our election system. So all the problems with machines, that $300 million went into that.
He have a lot to do with it. It's like you moving the corruption somewhere else instead of just getting rid of it, and you just moving them to different spots, different districts, and it's not going to change. As long as they keep all these corrupt politicians, Nancy Pelosi and all of them, it's just going to get worse. America is gone. I don't see no change. It's getting worse and worse to me. Obama was never lying when he said it's just going to get worse and worse, because I really believe that now. It's worse and worse, and I never thought it would get this bad, but it's bad now. So I'm like, okay.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Where are you from? Thank you, because I'm going to look online. You're going to be online with this? Okay. And oh, that's beautiful. Okay, thank you, and I respect that. But my voice is, though. That's beautiful. Okay, so y'all have a blessed day, and just be safe.
You too.
Maybe I'll go. Is nobody out down that way? There's no protest.
Yeah, I don't think you're going to find anybody going up that way that hasn't left already.
Oh, okay, good. They got out early, yeah. Okay, so I'm going to go to the store and get home. So take it easy.
Take care.
Nice meeting y'all.
Take care. It's great to meet you. Let's switch to this mic because this shit's fucking running out of battery.
rude. I said what I've been saying what we should do for the past like 5 times now. And the girl even started agreeing with me. And then he was like, yeah, I think we need to really move past politicians and unite around the issues. I'm like, I said that 5 times, bro. But I mean, like, obviously I didn't agree 100% with what they were saying. But I mean, like, we agreed on a lot.
So it's like, all right, so on the things we agree.
He was like, we should protest from Google. I'm like, this, bro. What?
I'm down with it. Like, it was supposed to be like, oh, you guys support Google. No, fuck that. But what I was gonna say is that we need to find out what we agree on, what's the problem, and then figure out how do we get there. And it's not going to be by voting for any of these politicians. It's got to be a different way. So we just got to evaluate which ways, agree on that, agree to disagree on other shit. Eventually, maybe they will come around because I'm pretty sure we're right. We're correct, right? So
listen. I'm not saying I held my ground, but I did educate some people, so co-host of Slow News Day, that's what I do!
Co-host of Slow News Day, and on the ground responding, Glory Jones for the Convo Couch. Everybody, by the way, it's Johnny and Glory. You know me, I'm always on the street, and then Glory's always on the streets. Johnny Streets. So make sure y'all like, share, and subscribe. And if you're trying to see more on the ground stuff, also subscribe to my YouTube channel, True Rebel Network. I'm gonna start posting there more when I start doing some more independent stuff. I'm gonna start posting more on True Rebel Network.
Sick.
And so I'm just letting y'all know about that. Let's go check this out real quick, and then I think we're gonna go.
And watch Slow News Day because I always talk about my on the ground experiences when I'm there.
So yeah, Glory's co-host on Slow News Day. If you know, that's with Steve Poikonen, and they kind of talk about Assange all the time, as well as with Action for Assange.
I'm really glad that lady didn't know who Assange was, and she learned something about him. I
know, right? Yeah, that was great. All right, so we're gonna look at this. I might turn the mic off because they're playing music, and I don't want to get copyright on this stream.
One lady at the beginning had the audacity to be like, "Do you know who Julian Assange is?" I'm like.
Fuck you through the fence. That's not great. If you try to fucking think, I'm putting it in your face. Let me stop it now. You ain't no gun to the sky. I'm fucking talking to put it straight to your eye. Hey, this is my side, Ella, we the niggas on the side, Hey, we don't got nobody else like they ain't trying to protect us. We got help. Hey, my nephew.
Let me play a beat. Hey man, I ain't even gonna cap that whole time. I'm just gonna say I appreciate everybody. We need numbers and shit.
Yeah.
The last couple of protests and shit, everybody's out here like some soft ass doing shit, hiding and
shit. Did you learn something?
Yeah, and it's the Real Black Soap on Instagram. Go ahead, follow it. So real underscore real underscore black underscore soap. You feel me? Look at that.
I told you.
All right, guys, I'm signing off. Everything's pretty much done. The police left. You saw them approach the 2 people we were talking to earlier, saying how long are you gonna stay here? We're about to leave, and we just want to assure your safety and stuff. But that was kind of extra because people really aren't doing too much here. Maybe at the Beverly Hills Beverly Hills protest, that shit kind of happens, but that's both sides. I feel like the Trump supporters a lot more, but we'll see. I might go to the thing tomorrow, have more conversations. So thanks for tuning in. Subscribe to True Rebel Network. Check out Glory Jones on Slow News Day.
My channel is Trouble Network, so check that out. More on the ground shit. Look at the old videos too, because I was doing this shit before the George Floyd stuff, like right before it, and then George Floyd's protest happened, and, well, the murder of George Floyd, and yeah. So thanks for tuning in. Just having more conversations, you know, and everybody take care. Take care.
Yeah, for everybody, let them know.